rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the Patriot Angle Podcast. A podcast unfiltered, unscripted, raw. Your host, Mike. Hello, folks. Hello. Welcome to the show. Happy Thursday to everyone. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday. It's one day before the weekend. Thank God, right? The weekend is almost upon us. So happy Thursday, and on to today's show. We got a lot to talk about, folks. I want to get into a poll here. Buzzing the headlines was also on Breitbart. Anybody check out Breitbart? It's an awesome conservative news platform, so check them out. It was on Breitbart, a poll coming in that 1 of 4 Americans say it is safe for them to go out in public without a mask. Oh, well, let's read it here. 1 of 4 Americans believe it's safe for them to personally go out in public without wearing a mask. A survey poller released this week showed respondents were asked, when do you think it will be safe for you to go out in public without a mask on? 26% said it is safe right now. Another 6% said it will be safe by spring of 2021. 13% said summer of 2021. And 16% said by the end of 2021. And also, folks, 19% said 2022 or later. And another 19% said that they were not sure. Folks, the survey also asked respondents how often they have worn a mask in the last 7 days when outside of their home. A plurality, 49% said always, followed by 21% who said most of the time, 19% who said some of the time, and 12% who said never. Additionally, the survey asked respondents to rate the safetiness of concerned activities for vaccinated people, while the majority believe it is either completely or somewhat safe for vaccinated individuals to socialize outdoors without wearing a mask or socialize indoors with other vaccinated people without a mask. Folks, let me get into this here. Okay. Right now, you're seeing the majority of Americans going further with this mask issue. Okay, a lot of them are, being a little questioned about it, understanding, is it safe? Is it not safe? Should I believe the CDC guidelines? Should I believe Dr. Fauci's suggestion masks could continue around into 2022 and that he feels that we should wear them? A lot of people are wearing 2 masks. A lot of people I see now wearing those plastic shields over their face. Folks, I think it's possible that that's the case, right? From case to case. It depends on what you mean by normality, all right? What I mean by a normalization in this country is if people just went back to their everyday lives, stop relying on government, and stop living in fear, right? I mean, it says that in the Bible. We should not live in fear. We should not let fear take over our lives. And we've seen this pandemic take over our lives. We've seen the government on countless times say, oh, it's not safe and this and that, and we should wear masks and not socialize with one another, and we have to stay 6 feet away from one another, and we shouldn't see each other during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc., etc. Folks, why is everybody continually playing this out to be such a global killer when we have more diseases and viruses at higher risks than COVID-19. Folks, this disease or virus or whatever you want to call it has a survival rate of 99.9%. If a disease or virus has a survival rate of 99.9%, I think you're going to be fine. So the whole mass confusion that's continually to sweep America needs to end, and people need to go on with their lives and stop living through big government's lie of you're gonna kill each other and this and that. Folks, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. In other news, another poll, majority of those who say they will not get vaccinated will not change their mind. Okay. People that are making up their mind with this whole vaccination, right? The government pushing the vaccine like never before. We see that with the Biden administration now influencing Americans that they should get a vaccination. Not only are you saving the person next to you, but you're lowering your chances of high risk of developing COVID-19. Can you believe that, folks? This is the same garbage that we seen in the 70s with the swine flu. Go back to my my podcast from earlier, and I touched a little bit on the swine flu and the vaccinations that the government tried pushing during the 70s with that. Very, very similarity between the swine flu and COVID-19 with the vaccinations, social distancing, masking, all that crap. But folks, here's another poll here that came out. The majority of those who are not planning to get vaccinated for the coronavirus say that there is nothing that could change their mind and convince them to do so. The survey taken between May 1st and May 4th among 1,500 U.S. adults asked those who do not plan on getting vaccinated if there is anything that could change their mind and convince them to get vaccinated. So, meaning that the people that made up their mind that didn't want to get vaccinated in the first place, there are now people like pharmaceutical companies and other companies trying to convince them to get vaccinated. Why are they pushing this crap so much? Why? I mean, the overwhelming majority, 79%, said no, indicating that they are firm in their decision, while 16%, folks, said that they are not sure, followed by 5% who said yes, demonstrating a willingness to change their mind. Like, what is it in for big pockets of U.S. health officials and experts? Like, what is this, like, literally? I mean, we've seen Dr. Fauci continually moving the ability that, if we get more people to take the vaccination, we'll develop immunity to this disease. And he also stated that, the doctor also stated, says that people were getting confused and thinking you're never going to get the infections down until you reach this mystical level of herd immunity, whatever number that is. I mean, folks, this is why this crap needs to end. I'll go further into it here. Do you know that some blue state governors, such as Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf, a Democrat, of course, have linked lifting certain restrictions, naming nixing the statewide mask mandate, to getting a certain percentage of population vaccinated? Can you believe that crap? This is how far they're going to go, folks. You're going to have mayors and governors, okay, mainly from blue states, because you go to a red state, which there are red states in this country. A lot of people think, it's just blue. No, there are red states in this country, folks. If you go to a red state, they don't have the idiocy, the stupidity, like some of these states that you're seeing with these restrictions. But the blue state governors and mayors are going so far to try to get their citizens to get vaccinated by lifting some of the COVID restrictions. Can you believe that? According to Governor Wolf of Pennsylvania, he said he wants to see 70% of the Keystone State vaccinated before he lifts the rest of the mask mandate, meaning that he's not gonna lift the mask mandate unless he sees 70% of his state vaccinated. What happened to my body, my choice, right? With that being said, folks, we'll be right back after these words. Don't go anywhere. All right, folks, we're back to the show. We're talking about this whole mask confusion. It's not going away, folks. People are more confused than ever. I mean, people are confused as hell of whether to wear a mask, not to wear a mask, wear double masks. I mean, if the confusion continues, folks, it's terrible. It really is. I want to play a soundbite in here of just how far this mask issue is going, even involving the vaccinations, the masks, the vaccinations, the social distance. I mean, this is really bad. This is a New Mexico governor, Grissom, praises D.C. on dancing ban. It takes a lot of courage to be really clear about what is high risk. So listen to this crap, folks. This is a New Mexico governor praising D.C. on their dancing ban. Now, yeah, they're gonna ban the dancing now because of social distance guidelines and restrictions. Listen to this crap, folks. This was right off of CNN. You gotta listen to this crap. I mean, this is oh boy. I scratched my head on this one, folks.
Our next guests are making an announcement here on our program in hopes of convincing Manchin and other lawmakers that D.C. is indeed deserving of statehood. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and New York Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham are here with us. Thanks so much, ladies, for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Governor, you are announcing today, you're inviting Mayor Bowser to become part of the Democratic Governors Association. But of course, she's not a governor. So how is this going to work?
Well, look, she's an executive leader in the district working on all of the things that Democratic governors are responsible, from continuing to save lives, get folks vaccinated in our fight against COVID, but to every other meaningful issue, from voting rights protection, healthcare reform and access, educational investments for every single one of her constituent and families. And that's exactly what the Democratic governors across this country are doing every day. And this partnership is an incredible announcement to really reinforce that's what we're dedicated to, and that's what we are about. And we're delighted to be able to make this announcement today.
Mayor Bowser, the House passed a bill to make D.C. a state last month, but now Governor Manchin, Democrat of West Virginia, says that he doesn't support it. So is it DOA?
No, it's not DOA, and let me thank the governor for her leadership of the Governors Association, and her willingness to embrace the city, county, and state that Washington, D.C. is right now. Like she said, we function as a state in so many ways. We're treated as a state throughout federal law. And what's missing is 2 senators to represent us in the Senate. So what will be just like every other tax-paying American. What we know is that we have work to do in the Senate, and we have strong allies. The President of the United States has issued a very strong statement supporting statehood for D.C. Senator Schumer has been very strong in his support for D.C. Statehood. And so we know that they're going to work with Senator Manchin and others so that this is an issue that is finally resolved, a wrong that is finally righted in our democracy.
All right, we'll follow that and see what develops. In the meantime, Mayor, while I have you, I want to ask you about your new guidelines for reopening D.C. It's getting a lot of attention. Here's what you're saying. Beginning May 1st, Multi-purpose facilities and venues may host events such as weddings, provided that there may be no more than 25% capacity in any room or up to 250 people. Here's what's getting a lot of attention. Standing and dancing receptions are not allowed. What good is a wedding without dancing, Mayor, and why no dancing?
Well, I think there's a lot of good to a wedding, like people starting off their lives together and doing it in a safe way, and not doing it in a way that puts themselves or their guests in danger. And let me be clear, on May 1st, we were proud of our residents and businesses who made conditions in D.C. such that we can start opening up these facilities. An alternate headline may be, now you can host a wedding in Washington, D.C., a regional meeting. You can have your friends and family for a family reunion and birthday parties at our hotels and restaurants. And just like our restaurant guidelines suggest, is that you have to be seated to enjoy the restaurant.
I got to stop it right there, folks. First of all, let me hear it first. Is not a political leader, but she is an executive leader. Did you hear that in the beginning of the sound clip? First of all, and then on top of that, this was just yesterday's, on Wednesday's CNN newsroom. The new Mexican governor, Michelle Grissom, said that people can dance at weddings if you're socially distanced and wearing a mask. Who the hell wants to go to somebody's wedding wearing a mask and social distance? How the hell can you social distance and dance at the same time? Do you know how weird? Yeah, a ping on that one. Do you know how weird that looks like, folks? When you are socially distancing and then dancing at the same time? That is the weirdest, stupidest thing I have ever heard. And then, of course, if you meet the other requirements with our level of vaccinations, she had said, which she also praised the D.C. Mayor Bowser, who has implemented an outright ban on dancing at wedding receptions by stating it takes a lot of courage to be really clear about what continuance high-risk activities and behaviors are. Folks, this is nuts. This is just crazy stuff. More COVID restrictions after COVID restrictions. When is this going to stop? When is it going to stop? Like, do we have to see more COVID restrictions? Oh God! If you think it gets even worse, look at this article here, folks. I'm gonna get away from that article because that sounds stupid. Yeah, you can go to a wedding now in D.C. as long as you're socially distanced and wearing a mask, and you can dance there. But as long you can dance at a wedding at a wedding reception, but as long as you're wearing a mask and you're socially distanced from one another. How the hell is? Oh boy! I mean, I can't even imagine that right now. On other news, folks, listen to this. If it even gets even nuttier with these COVID restrictions, like I said, folks, this country is going into a third world hellhole. Listen to this article. Oh boy, this is more COVID restrictions. Like we haven't seen enough of them. Agricultural Secretary Tom Vilsack, racial requirements for coronavirus relief farm plan very legitimate. What? Huh? What? So now they want to put a coronavirus relief farm plan into discussion. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack defended President Joe Biden's coronavirus relief program to assist Black, American Indian, Alaska Native, Hispanic, Asian, and Hawaiian Pacific Islander farmers. I think that there is a very legitimate reason for doing what we're doing, he says. Vilsack agreed that Biden's plan restricted white farmers from applying for aid to address historic racism in the Department of Agriculture. What? Oh my God. Folks, can you believe half the stuff that is going on right now? Listen to this. It gets even worse here. Listen to this crap. We have reimbursed people in the past for those acts of discrimination, but we never absolutely dealt with a circumventive of effect, he said, during the White House press briefing Wednesday. Yeah, it even goes into further than that, folks. Listen to this. A group of white
I love this Rakuten app. Look at that. I open the app, find the store that I want to use, start buying, and gets me tons of cash back. I just got paid to shop.
My favorite thing about Rakuten is just getting money back in the mail.
I mean, who wouldn't want cash back?
Sign up today and get cash back with Rakuten.
All right, folks, back to the show. We're almost out of time here on the podcast here, but before I close it out here, I want to get into this last article here because this is just more craziness with more up-to-date COVID restrictions on masking and vaccinations, right? Masking and vaccinations. I think that's what we're going to call our show today. Masking and vaccinations onto today's hysteria, right? I mean, craziness. Listen, face masks are no longer required outdoors in California for fully vaccinated individuals. Yes, according to the San Francisco Chronicle, it states that California has updated its guidance on face coverings for fully vaccinated people. Oh, wow. If we haven't seen that coming, oh boy, I knew that was coming. Yeah, that's why they're pushing people to get vaccinated. Oh yeah, you don't want to wear a mask anymore? Go get vaccinated. You won't have to wear a mask anymore. Yeah, and then you can get sick even more after you take the shot. I mean, folks, we've seen that in the 70s. Why is people not understanding this? Yeah, the article states here, California updated its guidance on face coverings for fully vaccinated people this past Monday, matching recommendations made by the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Late last week, California's Department of Public Health says that face coverings are no longer required outdoors for fully vaccinated people, except here's the punchline, except in crowded settings such as performances, festivals, and sporting events. According to the latest public health experts, that if you're outside, you don't need a mask. But if you're at festivals and outdoor sporting events, you need a mask. So let me get this straight, okay? Let me get this straight according to the health experts. You're trying to tell me that when you cough or sneeze or any particle or anything comes out of your mouth or nose or wherever port of entry from your body spews into the air, it breaks down faster when no one's around or when less people are around, such as jogging trails and etc., versus crowded individual places such as festivals and outdoor sporting events. So you're trying to tell me that particles and spit and coughs and sneezes travel faster in crowded scenarios rather than less crowded scenarios? Like, what? Is that the dumbest science that you've ever heard in your life? According to this article, that's what they're saying. According to also California's Department of Public Health, it says that people are considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after their last shot. So if you had your second shot, 2 weeks after that, you're considered fully vaccinated. You're immune to this disease. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those who are not fully vaccinated should continue wearing their face coverings outdoors when they can't maintain social distance, at least 6 feet, the state says. Face coverings are also still required in all indoor settings except people's homes, as well as on public transit, regardless of vaccination status. So if you got your vaccination shot on public transportation, you still have to wear a mask. This science of these experts, that they don't make sense. Half this crap that we're dealing with in this country does not make sense. And then, oh yes, we got a statement from from liberal Governor Gavin Newsom there in California. He says in a statement here, after reviewing the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention masking recommendations and with science and data as our guide, we are moving to align California's guidance with these common sense updates. Common sense? Dude, I don't even think you should talk common sense, because half this crap that we're dealing with in this country is not common sense. It's stupidity at all-time highs. I'm telling you, folks, if we have to continue with this crap, I'm telling you right now, we're going to be in another damn civil war. I'm telling you. If we're not in a civil war yet, I think it's coming. I think we're marching towards another civil war in this country. More restrictions on our own liberties and freedoms, folks, are at high stakes here. With that being said, thank you for tuning in to today's show. Hope you learned something. And as always, folks, we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to hit that like and follow button on all social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and as well as our podcast platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Google, Podbay.fm, and others. Also, tune in for the May 26th show, as we will be revealing the brand new backdrop to our podcasts on Instagram Live, as well as the brand new, yes, I said brand new, Patriot Angle highlight wheel. Oh boy, we're going to have fun with that. Tune in on that show on May 26th, and we'll see you live, guys, on Instagram. Take it easy. You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle podcast, an Anchor platform.